Hey book reader friends, this is Christy with Tatted Hat Girl Reads. This is like the 10th time I've attempted this video. So let's just jump in. These are my most anticipated reads for 2025. They are series that other booktubers have talked about and that I have jumped in and bought the books but have not started the series yet. So these are my anticipated reads for 2025 and I really am looking forward to these. I do worry that because fantasy books are typically so long and with school that I might only get to one book a month, and I'm very worried about that. So I will be doing some immersion reading and I will be doing some audiobooks this year. Shoot me, it is what it is. In order to be able to enjoy these stories, I am going to have to do it all to get it done. And I'm here for that too, because I need enjoyment in my life and books are that. So let's get started. My most anticipated read, they are series, fantasies, and they are typically highly recommended series. So let's go. First one, The Jasmine Throne. I am in love with the covers. I own 3 of the books and have not started the series yet. The font is ginormous. There is absolutely no reason this is sitting on my TBR, but that is the goal, to see it through. Finish off at least 10 on what's on my TBR of series that I just haven't started. This one's not necessarily a series, I guess you could say, but it's part of a Cosmere that I have not read. It comes highly recommended by many of you. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I've read Tress and I listened to Frugal Wizards. I made a mistake of doing that one. I really wish I had read that book, but huge font. And this one's come so highly recommended, I'm going to skip Sunlight Man. I understand that you don't have to read them in necessarily in an order, so I'm not going to. But if you think that you should read Sunlit Man first, put it in the comments below. Let me know. Just put Sunlit 1, just so I'll know that maybe you should read that one first, because if so, I'll probably read them both this year. The next one, this is also 3 books that I own. I have not even read book 1 yet. The Bone Ships. I'm very, very excited. This one wasn't necessarily a recommendation. Not saying that it wasn't, anticipated or amazing out there with BookTube, but for me, I haven't ran across anyone that's like, yes, you have to. I think I ran across this in Barnes & Noble, and she's like, I just freaking love the cover. It's just kind of dope. And I find that anything Orbit, I tend to resonate with their authors very well. They choose great authors. I started out with Sam Sykes with them, and they've moved on to fantastic authors from that, and I'm completely hooked. I have a whole shelf dedicated to Orbit books. The next one is The Blade Itself. Again, I own 3 books. I have not started book 1 yet. Font's not small. There is absolutely no reason why this is still sitting on my shelf. It is one I think I will be able to read without immersion reading, but I'm not quite sure, so that's up in the air. It is, I want to say it's right at 500 or a little less. Yeah, it's exactly 501 pages. This one comes highly recommended. My husband's read this one, but he hasn't read the other 2 books. I haven't read book 1 at all. He owns the other, Joe Abercrombie's, he has another series that looks similar to this one. In fact, we get confused when we're in the store. Which one do you own? Which one do I own? And so we're creating a library Excel sheet this year. We started one, but we don't keep up with it. So I found another one that we both like a lot better. It'll also help with our rating system. The Shadows of the Gods, John Gwynne. Another one I own, book 1, 2, and 3. Have not read book 1. This one came highly recommended by a booktuber, Elliot Brooks, another Orbit book. In fact, I think that's at a minimum of 3 Orbit books in this stack. And I am in love with just the covers of these. Everything she has said specifically about this book many times. She has many videos, including this series. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And I bought book 3 this year just to go ahead and get my hands on it. So I bought it in 2024 rather. So for 2025, this was you must read book 1 at a minimum. Keep on moving. The Bone Shard's Daughter. This one was oddly recommended by Sarah J. Maas. I am kind of blown away because I honestly thought this was a little bit more fantasy than her romanices. So I am very interested in finding why she liked it, what about it she liked, and seeing if there's a correlation with her style of writing, or is there just, this was just enjoyable to her. Another one that I have book 1, 2, and 3. I have not started book 1. I will say that I think I started this one on audiobook and realized I wasn't paying attention. I had something going on at the time and I wasn't really focused. So I kept starting. I said, I'm never going to do this and I'm going to end up hating a series that's probably really good. So I made myself stop. It's roughly 435 pages. No reason I can't get that one done in a couple weeks. I am going to, once I start back to school, I become basically just a nighttime reader. And then when you fall asleep because you're reading and you're tired from your day, who knows? So I think my average goes down when I'm in school to 1 to 2 books a month, just depending on what book that is. Right now, I'm currently reading a book that I'll talk about in a minute that I absolutely love the series, but I'm falling asleep too quick in it. And I'm like 10 to 11% in, and I should be at least 50% done with this book by now. So it's a little discouraging. So I need to snap out of it. I think I'm in a, not a book rut, but a holiday rut. I think everyone knows what I mean. Like you're just tired. The holidays are so busy. All you want to do now is just stop. And that's where I'm at. I just want to stop and stare at paint on the wall. I don't know. I don't want to do anything else. Christmas was exhausting. And it's starting to get colder this week. So now I can't even have that fake spring, fall time feel here where I live in Texas. And it is making just the weather perfect for reading, but my mind isn't there yet, but we'll get there. The Will of the Many. I have seen this on many TBRs, and many people have talked really highly about this book. So I'm very excited. Chapters are done in Roman numerals, which I happen to love. I think I did better in hieroglyphics. I can't say it now. Roman numerals, and even possibly sign language, the little bit of that I learned. I think I learned that stuff easier than I did English, hence why I can't say it. We are looking at definitely in the 600s in the page number count. The cover, the inside of it is just really gorgeous. My camera is tracking me, so we're gonna fight over space apparently, which is better than last time. Last video I did, it quit tracking me. But I am really, really looking forward to this one. I can't say that this is a series or that it will be book 2 or anything coming out on it. I'm gonna say probably. You may know better than I do because I haven't looked it up actually to see where we're going with this. Since it specifically says book 1, I'm gonna assume there's more coming to that, so I didn't mind including it on this list of my most anticipated reads for 2025 that are series. Assassin's Apprentice. I wanna say the sisters that talk so much about this book that turned me on to it, but I can't remember the name and I don't want to mess it up. I can remember pieces of their name, so I don't want to mess it up, but I might include it in the description below, just so if you want to go check out their channel. It's really rad. I've enjoyed it and it's got me re-motivated about reading. You might hear my cat leaving. We leave the door cracked so she can get out, and it's squeaking. But this one, books, it's a lot of books in this series. It's over 400 pages for this one, and it's funny because it doesn't really look that big, but it is. It's 400 pages plus. The font's all right. Very typical of a paperback. I went ahead and bought the wrong 3 books when I first bought it, and Farseer was the trilogy you should start with from my understanding, so I had to go back and buy these 3. But then I skipped book 4, 5, and 6 and have 7, 8, and 9. So I still gotta get 3 more books to keep it in order. But I do have the very first 3, so I can go ahead and get started this year. That one's highly anticipated for me. I'm very excited. Been very into the paperback. I love hardbacks, as I'm getting ready to show this next one that's a monster. But the paperbacks have been nice because they're just a lightweight. I do read a lot on my Kindle because I'm a night reader. But I like being able to just be able to flop the book open and read. But there's something about a hardback too. And that brings me to Name of the Wind. I can never remember if the word "the" is in the title, and it is. Name of the Wind. I'm very excited about this one. I know there seems to be a lot of debate if this book is good or not. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it or what your star rating might have been. I am personally looking forward to it. It started out, and I've already read a little bit. I haven't gone anywhere past like the first few pages and maybe even just the prologue. But we start out in a bar. And I don't know why I love like a true just old time bar feel setup. It's just like some things are going to happen in this book, and I'm very excited about it. The Sam Sykes books had that some, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Boop. And we're down to the last one. Actually, there's a book missing. I just realized that. So it means I left it somewhere a while ago. So there's actually two more left. One I won't have on me. So we'll talk about that one first. The Lightbringer series, the Red Rising series. I'm reading Lightbringer. So while I'm not starting that series, I am finishing that series. And that one's highly anticipated. I wanted that book for 2025 with all my heart and soul to be the first book. And I'm making that happen. I don't like Lysander. And I have a hard time reading when we're not reading about Darrow and we're reading about Lysander. I really have a hard time with that. And I think that's some of why I might be stalling a little bit at night. I fall asleep during his chapters even, and the next day I get to start back in Darrow and I get excited. The last book, though, we're going to talk about is Brandon Sanderson's Way of the Kings. Whew, I am going to say this one will be an immersion reading. My husband has already started it. I don't race my husband in reading because he can read faster than me. And he has the focus enough that he will stay up. When I'm tired, I'm done. But this series, I'm so excited. The same ones that recommended Assassin's Apprentice recommended this series. She had just finished book 5, and I have to say I went ahead and did it because I'm like, I'm going to read it. I'm going to start reading it. This is just something I'm going to do. I'm very excited about. But those are the books that I am anticipating reading in 2025. My stack is trying to fall over. And I hope to do the reviews on each and every one of those this year. This has been the first video for 2025, and I look forward to the next 51 videos where we talk about these fantasy reads and many more. We do have books that are coming out that I did not include in this because I don't own that, and this video was about kind of completing, or starting rather, series that are sitting on my TBR. So trying to finish off my TBR the best I can, and this is the way to do it, is start the series that you haven't even started yet. Thank you for sitting with me again. This is Christy with Tatted Hat Girl Reads. I will see you next week.